page to load up. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to a new edition of the Thursday morning Gridiron show here on Sports Insanity Network. Mike, the old ops guy, with you. We're changing the program a little bit. We're busy tonight, so we're previewing Thursday night football way before the actual game actually starts.
So anything that we happen to get right and any announcer should take from us could be plagiarism.
Except for Al Michaels, because Al Michaels, if you want to plagiarize,
As long as he gives us the credit.
so Al Michaels needs to take from me. I'm okay.
And as we always like to say for President Patchy, Al Michaels not a sponsor.
But shout out Al Michaels, the GOAT.
Yeah. Oh, love to listen to him announce.
Oh, yeah. So Thursday night football, we have a big one tonight. NFC West showdown. Rams, Seahawks, round number 2. Both teams come in. They're coming off of wins last week. They're both coming in at 11-3, tied atop the NFC West. And here's the sad part, Mark. They're both 11-3, and one of the two teams is going to be a wild card team.
And with the addition of the extra wild card, I kind of like, I like that, but you can't really change the playoffs any more than they already have. And it is unfortunate that one of these two will go in as a wild card considering the seasons they've had. But I don't think you really can amend it any more than what they already have.
By the way, they're both one of them's going to wind up on the road. By the way, we haven't even mentioned the Niners are 10-4, right on their heels.
Right. And if you want to compare it to anything, you look at the NFC North. I mean,
Yeah.
besides the Eagles, who, if all they have to do is win one game, besides the Eagles, it's basically going to be represented by two divisions. I'm sorry, besides the Eagles and whoever wins the South. Let me rephrase that.
And it's fair to not remember the South because
They tried to succeed once and they didn't win.
And the Panthers and Bucks are both
Yeah.
football teams.
Don't shut out the Panthers, though. 2 years from now, they're going to be atop at the A of the North. Well, of the South, sorry.
Yeah. So, like we said, we got the Rams and the Seahawks. Rams flight didn't take off till late last night due to some issues with the plane. So, see if that has any effect. But last week, the Rams played the Lions. They beat them 41-34. Matthew Stafford just continues on this MVP-esque run. 368 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Kyron Williams ran for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Puka Nacua went for 180 yards.
Jesus.
But one thing that did happen for the Rams, Davante Adams pulled a hamstring, listed as doubtful for tonight.
He won't play.
He's not gonna go. If you're the Rams, you can't let him go.
Not at this point in the season. I mean, if this was the last game of the season that meant your entry in for the playoffs, maybe have few plays that he can help out with. But considering you got 3 games, now's the time to rest him. You're all you have to, I mean, losing Devontae Adams. I mean, when you think about it, he wasn't the number one coming in, really. I mean, that was Puka's spot. But they basically are playing right now with 2 number 1s. So it's a
And
big loss.
they've clinched already. They clinched a playoff spot. They haven't clinched the division. So yeah, rest Devontae probably the next 2 weeks or so. Maybe you get him back that last game, get him a couple of snaps. And if you're
Because
not
either way, you're going into the playoffs.
the number one seed, that way he's ready to go for the wild card round. Or if you are the number one seed,
He gets
guess
that bye
what?
week.
Guess what? He's got 4 weeks to recover.
And that would be a massive help for Matt Stafford and that Rams team that is just clicking on all cylinders right now.
You bring up him and Puka and Nakua, and then they can run the ball well with Williams and Corum. It's amazing the job. Not even the job. It's they let Cooper Cup leave, and in strides Devontae Adams to play with Puka, and then the running back position, which has been a problem for them over the years. Oh yeah, we're gonna just draft Kyron Williams and Blake Corum, and it's gonna be one of the more explosive attacks in all of the NFL.
I totally agree with you on that. Obviously, at the top of the list is still Detroit with Montgomery and Gibbs,
Mhm.
but Kyron Williams and Blake Corum are quickly, not slowly, are quickly being recognized as a top running back duo. And in the upcoming years, once Corum gets a little more experience, maybe within this season, I'm not going to say they're going to be good as Montgomery and Gibbs, but they'll be up there.
So the Rams are doing that. The Seahawks are winning games differently. Seahawks beat the Colts on Sunday by a score of 18-16
What a game.
on 6 field goals from Jason Myers as they outdueled Philip Rivers. But Sam Darnold 22 of 36 for 271 yards, 113 of which went to Jackson Smith in Jigba.
We talk about Jonathan Taylor. You got to give JSN his due. He's taken
Mm.
on the presence of Metcalf and Lockett all in one and has pretty much saved their numbers by himself. Not to take anything away from other players that are there, like Shaheed, etc., and Kenny Walker and Charbonnet. But come on, you gotta recognize where greatness is.
And you gotta understand he's going to be in the running for offensive player of the year. The
Yeah,
interesting
and
thing is there's a lot of guys in this division in the NFC West who could win offensive player of the year. You could go JSN. You could talk about Devontae or
Puka,
Stafford,
obvious. Puka's had a hell of a season.
Puka, Stafford. Oh, by the way, if you go to San Francisco, there's this guy named Christian McCaffrey who's had a really good year.
The NFC West is and the NFC North are the two main divisions right now. And they will be for the next couple of years. I think the NFC South and the NFC East are going through emergence, meaning the South is starting to see a couple of teams really starting to come out on top, and the NFC East is just flat and dead. But give it a couple of years, it'll be back where it once was, with the Eagles most likely at the bottom.
Well, listen, the NFC East has a future, though. I'll say that, especially with Jackson Dart, and if the Commanders can keep Jaden Daniels healthy.
Yep.
Uh, and so, but this is the second meeting of the year between these two teams. They met in let me go back, week 11 in LA, where the Rams beat the Seahawks by a score of 21-19. Sam Darnold in that game threw 4 interceptions. Matt Stafford threw for only 130 yards but 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams ran one in. And the Ram defense forced a lot. They had 4 picks. And that was the game. 4 picks.
Yeah.
Everything else is basically a little bit even. Actually,
You know,
the Seahawks have way more total yards, but yeah.
if anything, this game is a precursor to this game. I mean, you got what the game wasn't a blowout. The game was an evenly played game. And I expect the same thing come this Sunday. I mean, sorry, this Sunday. Come tonight. Thanks, Bill. Come tonight. And this is gonna come down to the fourth quarter. This isn't gonna be a rout game. This is gonna be a chess match. And then it's gonna come down to the fourth quarter where we're gonna see both quarterbacks open up.
And the Seahawks are going to need Sam Darnold to be better than he was in that game and
Mm.
better than he was last week.
Mm.
Relying on 6 field goals will not beat the Los Angeles Rams.
Right. And I don't disagree with you, but one thing that has to happen is over the last few weeks, that Seattle offensive line has been weak. Sam Darnold has been on the ground way too much, and now you're going up against the Los Angeles Rams with that defensive line that is so damn good.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're gonna have to come up with something, either keep Kyron or Corum in the backfield as an extra blocker, because if you're already out Devontae Adams, Puka's banged up, you're gonna have to rely on third depth, fourth depth here, and you're gonna have to rely on going short passes. You cannot concentrate on going deep down the field tonight.
And if you're Seattle, it's probably got to be the same thing. You're going to probably have to chip Walker, Charbonnet, maybe add an extra tight end. Because the Seahawks defense is no slouch either.
No,
The way they've been
it's
playing.
no Legion of Boom like it used to be, but it's not too shabby. The one thing though is you're going into the one stadium that Mike and I comment on all the time. It is the loudest stadium in football. They're named the 12th man for a reason.
Yep.
Any team going in to face that noise when you're going to snap, you'll see a couple of false starts because of it tonight. And those can be difference makers.
Which makes you wonder if maybe the Rams go a little bit silent count at some point tonight with Stafford. But the chess match between McVay and Mike McDonald is going to be very interesting as well. See how, because does Seattle then maybe we double up on Puka because Devontae's not there. And then we're going to force a guy like Tutu Atwell or Colby Parkinson to beat us. It's a very interesting thought here for Seattle.
It's good to have Tutu Atwell, who has experience and actually could be, like Mike just said, a real difference maker in this game with the loss of Devontae Adams. Because as long as he can get open for a couple short passes, that's going to pull the double coverage and whatnot off of Puka.
Yeah, there is going to be a lot of moving parts. Maybe the Rams are going to lean on the run in this game. They
It's
lean on
possible. And go
Corum.
play action and
Defense,
try to
yeah.
save Stafford a little bit.
But I think for Seattle, the X factor for the rest of the season, because if you look at the schedules, obviously the two teams are going to play each other tonight. Next week, which I can't believe already, next week's going to be week 17.
Yeah, I know.
The Seahawks will play the Panthers next week in Carolina. So we know Carolina can do at home.
Right.
And then the Rams will be on Monday Night Football. They're going to be in Atlanta playing the Falcons.
Okay. The Kirk Cousins led Falcons are not going to do much, so it's okay.
Poor Kirk Cousins. And then week 18, which is divisional opponents, the Seahawks will go play in San Francisco.
It's going to be a big game. A lot
And
of could be whoever wins gets in.
the Rams will play the Cardinals. Well, that might be, hey, just so now, that also could be for the division.
If injuries to LA has taken that stuff out, yeah, and they drop a game or two, it's a possibility.
Those games are going to matter. But I think for Seattle, the guy who's going to matter, who has to matter, is the guy they paid. They paid Sam Darnold a lot of money.
Yeah. And with
And
good reason.
right, Sam Darnold, since his days in Carolina, has really reinvented himself. He went to San Francisco to back up Purdy. Then he goes to Minnesota. He turns it on. And he's had a fairly good year. But we all remember what happened at the end of last year. He collapsed a little bit.
Yep.
You can't have that if you're Seattle. Because here's the thing with the Seahawks, Mark. This defense is so good that it's kind of like, okay, if you could put up 23 points, we're going to win the game.
Look, this game is going to be a real battle in the trenches. Um, as we're working towards FanDuel and DraftKings and stuff like that.
Not a
In a game
sponsor.
like, yep, not a sponsor currently. One of the best things about this is I would look to play the under in this game.
Yeah.
I think both defenses are gonna I think the defenses are the X factor for both teams. We
Mm.
know what the offenses can do. We know how good they are. I think this comes down to whichever defense shows up better.
So if I'm looking at X factors, I think for the Seahawks, the X factor is Sam Darnold. I'm gonna keep saying it. I think he's their X factor the rest of the season. For the Rams, the X factor for me, it's gonna be the running game. If the Rams can run the ball effectively without Devontae Adams, and we don't know Puka's issue also, and the Rams can run the ball and keep the 12th man silent, keep that Seahawk offense off the field, then I really like what the Rams are doing. If they can't run the ball and they have to be one dimensional, who's stepping up?
Right.
That is going to be a big question. So this should be an epic one. Who do you like?
It's hard, but I like the Hawks at home.
Yeah.
I like the Hawks at home. Nothing against the Rams. I think they are an excellent team. Stafford's had one hell of a season, but everybody knows that noise in that stadium causes so many issues for opposing quarterbacks. However, also if the Seahawks are getting blown out, they'll cause issues for the Seahawks when they're there. But I like the Seahawks here. I look for actually the big game coming from Rashid. I say he has 60 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That would help my dynasty team. I'll tell you that. Um, I like the Seahawks at home too. I just think for me, it's a short week. No Devontae Adams. Maybe no Brady Fisk as well for the Rams. That would be a big blow to their defense.
Yeah.
But I think Seattle at home, they're tough at home. They've always been tough at home. I think Seattle pulls one out here. I'm looking at something like 20-17 or
It's gonna be close like that.
17-14.
It's gonna be no more than a field goal.
Yeah, this is gonna be a close, competitive, epic game of proportions. And to be honest with you, I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, neither can I. I am actually very excited to see it. Um,
Is this
if
the
you're watching, sorry,
last Thursday nighter of the year?
I think you're right
Okay, it's
because they go to
no,
Saturday
we
games
get
next.
three next week because of Christmas.
Right, yes, yes. I forgot the annual 1 o'clock game in which I will be watching my Cowboys play the Washington, should be Redskins Commanders, and having a traditional Christmas lunch of Chinese food and football.
What better could you ask for on Christmas than
When you're a Jew, when you're a Jew on Christmas, you have Chinese food.
Mhm.
That is the tradition.
Yeah. Listen, I know what it's like. All right, everyone, enjoy the game tonight. The two of us, probably along with Danny Boy, will be with you Sunday morning for the Sunday sideline report. To preview all the games on Sunday. We'll recap this one. We'll recap the Saturday games as well. Go to the website, thesportsinsanitynetwork.com for great blogs, vlogs, planes, trains, and automobiles. Follow us on the socials, Twitter, Insanity Real, and Facebook, The Sports Insanity Network. The LDOPS guy, I'm Mike. We'll see you all Sunday morning for the Sunday Sideline Report. Remember, this should be a fun one between the Rams and the Seahawks on Prime.